Welcome back to a best of 5 series of professional StarCraft 2. Today it's time for a Terran versus Zerg, where in game number 1 we find ourselves on Glittering Ashes. Spawning right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Terran SCVs from Poland, we have Spirit, actually, okay, already moving 3 of those workers at the earlier stages of the game. One of them is building a supply depot right here on top of the ramp. Are we gonna send a third as well? Nah, doesn't look like it. Anyways, he is starting off this series with a little bit of aggression, it seems. I think he plans on building a couple of barracks over here on the other side of the map. Although it's only barely on the other side of the map, okay? This is the halfway point right over here. Glittering Ashes obviously is massive. Anyways, his opponent, playing with the red Zerg drones, and likewise also from Poland. We're looking at Elazer's main base. And is Elazer, you gotta figure out exactly what's going on. His first Overlord, moving towards the left side of the map. He is scouting for proxy barracks. This one, however, won't find out anything. I think that this one probably is a little bit more promising. Yeah, heading on over at the very least in the right direction, although it needs to move a little bit further. I think it needs to move right around over there in order to get high ground vision here. Spirit being very conservative with the positioning here of those 2 barracks. It's only 2 wrecks as well, so it's not, you know, a complete committed aggression. He can definitely follow this up with some macro as well if he deals enough damage, but he certainly needs to get something done. Standard hedge gas pool, by the way, here from Elazer. No pool first or anything along those lines. No drone scouting. Okay, now he sees the SCV. I think scouting the timing right there of the SCV, especially if it goes on idle, should tell him pretty much anything that he needs. The problem is, though, Elazer doesn't know if it's 2 wrecks, 3 wrecks. He doesn't really know exactly how committed the Terran opponent here is. Wow, okay. Super conservative positioning here from Spirit. Like, both the barracks, but now also that bunker over there. It's important to start up a follow-up bunker a little bit closer before the creep can actually get really... I mean, if you start up if the creep is fully spread, right, and you start up a bunker over there, you can't build on creep. It's a bit of a disaster. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely in range right there. If Marines can sit in the bunker and shoot at the hatch, they'll certainly be able to gun it down over time. Anyways, Elazer did pull out of gas. 2 queens coming up, Spinecrawler coming up, a whole lot of Zerglings building. He really needs to make sure that that bunker does not go up, though. I mean, he does have a spine, so maybe that will make things a little bit easier. A 3rd bunker also starts up right here for Spirit. Bunker in the back, though. Beautiful safe haven right there for those Marines for now. SCV. Doesn't get killed. Is not being target fired down either. No, he tried to actually hold position micro those Zerglings and hope that they would kill the SCV that was building it. Spinecrawler, okay. Does root once again, but it's very slow. Marines pop out of the bunker. They... yeah, scoot past the bunker as well just to gun down the spine. Now with the Spinecrawler done, or, well, I guess down, depends on from which perspective you're looking at this game. Elazer already adding on drones again, hitting a supply block as well. Guys, I think that's GG. Alright. Spirit setting the tone. Apparently not afraid to play very aggressively right here to his fellow countrymen. Once again? No way. Really? I mean, what you gotta keep in mind is that these guys will be very familiar with one another as well, right? I don't really know exactly if they're close friends or anything along those lines, but I do know that it's really fun to cheese your friend many times in a row. Spirit. Once more, sending out 2 SCVs towards the other side of the map. And it seems to me that once more, we've got some very conservative positioning. I'd like to imagine that these guys get along very well, and Spirit is just trolling him. I mean, to be fair, proxy Rexes are a legit build order, right? The problem is, at the very highest level, if you look at, for example, one of Spirit's teammates, Mr. Raynor is very keen to open up with a 16 spawning pool, right? He's very keen to open up with 16 hatch, but then go for a drone scout. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that Raynor likes to go for build orders that will oftentimes just straight up win against this sort of shenanigans. It is, by the way, a 3rd barracks this time around too. Elazer is sending the OVs in that direction, or at least one of them. The other one is all the way right here on the left, but at the very least, he's scouting with them. And... oh my god. Is he? Okay, I thought for a second he was gonna score, right? It looked it looked like he was about to score a goal right over there by flying between the goalposts. Wouldn't have been ideal if he didn't scout anything. I guess this counts as a high ground? I mean, that certainly does. This seems like a little... That might be a little bit too... anyways, doesn't matter. He's already moving it away. Couple of drones also pulled away. Apparently, Elazer did scout out roughly what's going on. Once more, pulling the drones out of gas, saving up a little bit of larva. He's once more gonna go for a spine crawler, double queen. We need 6 Zerglings, though. Why did we not go 6 Zerglings this time? Okay, last time we definitely had 6 lings right away. This is more committed right here than Spirit was in the previous game. Once more, a bunker. Well, in range of the hatchery there for certain. Spirit trying to go for the fastest 3-0 he can. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. This is good for Spirit. Already 2 drones going down. 3rd drone, 4th drone, 5th drone. Counting with Lowko. Didn't think today was going to be an educational video, but that is too many. That's way too many. 9 drones is basically half of the... Well, it's exactly half of the economy that Elazer has. Hey, so Spirit probably feeling pretty good about it. Obviously, he can continue onwards with the aggression, but the absolute worst thing you can do right now, right, at least worse for the Zerg, is just to go home and macro. Just chill and, like, play a macro game from here, being significantly ahead. Especially in a best of 5, I think it's a pretty good choice, just because of the fact that... I mean, these Zerglings could actually deal some damage. Nah, probably not. Marines are coming back home. Anyways, basically Elazer, if this was me, right, playing the game right now, if I was Elazer here, I'd just be tilted the entire way through. Because you can't really leave the game at this point either, because you're obviously in a really bad spot, right? But, oh my god. Spirit goes triple proxy racks into triple command center. That is so incredibly greedy, I don't even know where to start. Yeah, he's just rubbing salt in the wound. He's just having some fun here. Alright, I heard that this series was fun. Wasn't entirely sure why, but I guess it's a Terran player that recommended this match to me. Fair enough, I'm having a good time so far. But I know that this is the Terran dream right over here, right? Where you're like, okay. Because this is the worst game to play right now for Elazer, right? So he's been pretty far behind her for a while. That being said, Elazer's like, okay, you know what? If he is gonna continue cheesing me, I am super dead. So, rather than, like, try and play, you know, against both of the options that my opponent has, right? Where he could be playing either macro or cheese, I'm just gonna try and hard counter one of the 2 options, and then we'll go from there, right? So he has just been holding down the drone button here non-stop. He hasn't really added on any additional units. He hasn't really done a whole lot of scouting either. He's just making drones. Which is incredibly greedy, because if Spirit would be pushing right now, there's basically no way that Elazer could actually stay in the game. But Elazer's taking a gamble. He's flipping a coin, and so far it honestly doesn't seem to be that bad of a game anymore for him. I mean, if you compare where it was at like 2 minutes ago, he's now actually ahead in a work account. That being said, still triple CC. Still triple Rex right here for Spirit as well. I'm expecting like combat shields or Stimpack first. And then we'll probably see him doing a follow-up push. But, I mean, honestly, if you do go for this, though... Okay, so usually Terrans will not move out until Stimpack is done. It's gonna be at least another while. Maybe he's gonna put the barracks... Or, sorry, the factory right over here on the reactors to start pumping out a couple of Hellions. But, I mean, Elazer is actually doing a good job right now using the extra queens that he's got for a little bit of creep spread. It's actually quite far out here. I mean, I feel like half of the opponents, let me put it like this. Half of the opponents Spirit could play against would have already GG'd out. They would have already left the game. Alright. So, action is here on Spirit, because Elazer is just holding down the drone button. Elazer did add on a Baneling Nest as well. That Spine's still helping out. He's got triple gas right now, so we'll probably see a lair here pretty soon. But it looks to me like he just wants to drone up to full 3-base saturation here as quickly as he possibly can. I don't know why he doesn't have a lair yet, though. I think he probably... Did he forget a lair? Because normally you time the Baneling Nest in such a way that you can start up Baneling speed as quickly as possible. Maybe he's just expecting like a Hellbat all-in or something along those lines. I mean, like I said, these guys are probably very familiar with one another. So... He's probably got a good understanding of what the odds of Spirit going for like a Hellbat push are, right? If he thinks that he could be going up against a Hellbat push right now, there's definitely a good chance that the Baneling Nest was made in that regard. Okay, yeah, no, I think it was actually a mistake. So he just finished up the Baneling Nest, he probably clicked on it, and then he realized, wait a second, I don't have a lair. Either that or he just wanted to get greedy and just power out more drones. Anyhow. At the very least, now we've got a semi-competitive game. Still liking this situation quite a bit here for Spirit, don't get me wrong. But Elazer has been gifted a lot of time. And if there's one thing that Zergs like to do with that time, it's, yeah, get a little bit cheeky, right? I mean, without bailing speed, that's not gonna happen, no? Am I crazy? How is this gonna... Okay. Anyways. You've awoken a madman, Spirit. This is what happens. This is a man who's already lost. But he's trying to win anyways. And he's, yeah, he's not afraid to make some crazy decisions because of it. And actually, you know what? This is great. This is really good for Elazer. Yeah, he's dealing a lot of damage. Terran, in the meantime, was moving across the map. Elazer probably well aware of the timing at which Stimpack moves, or finishes up, rather. So, despite the fact that he came in there with a bit of an awkward attack, because obviously he didn't have Bane speed or anything along those lines, it finally starts up right now. It wasn't a timing from him at any stretch of the imagination, but I guess it was an anti-timing because he knew the moment at which Terran would be making a move out once again. A lot of very clever plays coming up already. Yeah, these are the types of moves. Oh my god, look at that. Siege Tank actually killing the mule there. Good movement by Elazer. These are the types of moves that really only make sense when both players are actually really good at the game. It's like the StarCraft 2 horseshoe, right? Where like, this kind of looks like a Bronze League strategy in some ways. But because both players are really good at the game, it actually works out once again. We're on the opposite end of the horseshoe. Anyways. There was a great meme about that on the StarCraft subreddit a couple of days ago. Where some strategies work at the pro level only because both players are really good at the game. And yeah, they look like strategies people would play far lower up on the ladder. Okay, that is a little bit sloppy. Is he gonna get that too? He might be able to, at the very least, deal some damage to it. But 13 drones still ended up going down, primarily due to those Hellions here at the third. Elazer decides to go for Burrow before 1-1. Either once again a misclick, or he's up to no good. Elazer may have accidentally turned into a madman. I think Spirit was trying to destroy him mentally, but Elazer's like, you know what? Oh, that was beautiful! That was so good! He targeted those Banes in a heartbeat. Anyways, speaking of targeting Banes, though. The Siege Tank is over there having a good time. Killing 17 SCVs in the process, too. Yeah, the supply depots over here are always, it's a double-edged sword, right? So, like, you can obviously create a semi-wall right here for your SCVs, but then if the Banelings go all the way around and you still don't notice them, the SCVs have nowhere to run. I mean, obviously you can lower the supply depots and stuff, but oftentimes that doesn't really work out that great. Anyhow, okay, no, it definitely was intentional. Good thinking here by Spirit. He realizes a couple of Banelings disappeared, and that must mean they're sitting underground. One of the greatest ways in which a Zerg player can come back. Honestly, Elazer right now, perfectly legitimate in this game. One thing he doesn't really have is upgrades. Terran hasn't started up 2-2 yet either, though. A lot of queens. Ay, the queens. Having a grand old time. That medevac from earlier just flew to its death over here, too. This positioning on the siege tanks is amazing, though. Spirit dealing a ton of damage. Libs in the air, though, do end up going down, so that's nice here for Elazer. Constantly, we see little Banelings burrowed in the middle of the battle. Okay. Big stim. Target firing down the queens one at a time. Siege tanks. Dude, these are some killer positions. 19s and 22 kills here on them, respectively. Hatchery has been started up on the left side of the map. I think the drones are gonna find a new home to mine from instead. Elazer giving up the base here at the 6 o'clock spot, as well as Brenda. Every night in my dreams. I see you. I feel you, Brenda. Once more. Okay, sorry. I won't do that to you. Anyways, Banelings coming in right now. Absolutely no reaction here from Spirit whatsoever. One Baneling laughs in the face of danger, then decides to roll in there anyways. One thing I've always wondered about when a Zergling gets morphed into a Baneling, right? Is it punishment or is it a promotion? Let me know down below in the comment section. Punishment or promotion if you get morphed into a Baneling? I feel like it's probably a promotion. There's so many Banelings burrowed everywhere. The thing is, right, like, it's evolutionary speaking, it's not very clever. Oh my god, very brave Marines there, stepping on a bunch of those things as well. Okay. This is a crazy game. It's honestly hard to see who's winning this. I really like this position here for Spirit, who's been slow pushing for the better part of 5 minutes. But Elazer is holding him back for now, and, well, he's done a lot of damage on the other side of the map. Okay, Zerglings are gonna try and wrap around this army from the back as well. Marines, okay, I love the siege tank positioning over there at the bottom. Queens, though, still dealing a ton of damage right there to those Liberators, to whatever they can. And it looks like Elazer is gonna be able to stabilize? Okay, he does stabilize. He actually does push back that army. Since Spirit was very late on the +2/+2, Elazer has actually caught up in that department as well. So Spirit decided to, like, go in for the finishing move, but he didn't actually finish. So, yeah, now suddenly he has to play a longer macro game. He's only got 3 command centers as well. Elazer is happily macroing up on a bunch of bases, considering Spirit literally had double his opponent's economy earlier, and he followed it up with triple racks. It is a big indication that Elazer has been heavily outplaying his opponent right here in the middle stages of the match. Big confident boost as well here. If Elazer wins this game, there's no way Spirit is gonna go for 3rd Barracks cheese. Right? Right? Please do. Please just, you know, please just cheese every single match. That would be fun. Dude, the targeting is so hot. Oh! That's Terran dreams right there, man. Sweet dreams are made of targeting Banelings down. Who am I? Sorry, apparently this is now a karaoke video. StarCraft karaoke. Alright, SCV's running away. Most of them will be able to get on out of there, it seems. Push over here at the bottom. Also not really dealing that much damage, though Banelings once again coming up. Elazer trying to add like an extra arm right here to his creep spread, right? This arm over here, yeah, has been repeatedly cut off by Spirit. Bit rude. But obviously very important. Queen's just holding themselves so strong. Queens are insanely good units. Alright. 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 Well, I mean, they're not very strong defensively if you have an entire Marine army hitting them right in the head. Suddenly, Mr. Spirit claws himself back into the game. 4th command center finally finishing up. This is 15 minutes into the match, though. Extremely late on the 4th command center. He's gonna have to fly these additional CCs that he's got to new bases. Honestly, even though he's got a lot of workers still, I don't think it's actually that good for him because he doesn't have that many mineral patches. Hatchery does go down. So does the siege tank over there. So does the Liberator. If you look at the income right here, I mean, yeah, worker-wise, maybe Spirit is fine. But he doesn't have a lot of mineral fields to mine from. I would love to see him reposition this command center over there. This command center, I don't know, over there maybe. Like, try and get them up into certain positions because if you don't, Elazer is trading really inefficiently, but he is certainly getting a lot more income. Jimmy not scared. Jimmy's not a coward. Just stood there facing about half a dozen queens. Single-handedly. I mean, if you think about it, right? A Marine is like, I think a Marine in a suit is like 180, so like 6 foot tall-ish. Queens must be absolutely humongous. Right? These queens are like the size of a house. Like a double store. Anyways, doesn't matter. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh my god! 14 SCVs end up going down. Almost the command center itself, too. We've seen a lot of workers actually being killed. Yeah, 59 workers killed here by Elazer. Keep in mind, Spirit killed 1/3 of the workers that he's killed in total in this game at like the 1 minute mark. I'm impressed both of these guys are still in this game. This is... this is promising for the rest of the series. I feel like those Liberators haven't been that good. Why are we going Liberators, by the way? Why are we not going Marauders and Ghosts? I haven't really discussed unit compositions very much yet, but... I feel like Ghost sniping a couple of those Queens might not be a terrible idea. One of the problems you could run into right here as well as in Terran player, right, is that your opponent is going to go up towards a Hive and he's going to make Ultras. I mean, in this case, we don't have Elazer going to a Hive, but Spirit doesn't know that. And if you're playing like Marine Siege Tank Liberator against, like, I guess the Liberators are pretty good against Ultras, but if they come in from a strange angle or you don't suspect them, right, or you don't expect they will attack your army suddenly, like Marines, you get absolutely torn apart by Ultralisks. And if there's one thing that really goes well with Lings and Banes, it's Ultras. Okay, now this is once again a really nice positioning here for Spirit, though. At the same time, he's also pushing over here, over at the Natural Expo. Elazer trying his very best to set up those Baneling landmines, but so far not really getting that much of it done. Maybe I missed a big detonation, but I don't think so. Maybe. Supply creeping further and further into the advantage right here of Spirit. I don't know why he's adding on another command center over here. I really feel like +3 attack would be, or sorry, +3 armor would be far more favorable than anything else. Even the Queens right now are getting +1 missile upgrades. Elazer not apparently confident enough to tech up towards the Hive. He's now making some... Okay, this is a desperation move. I don't like this. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Banelings over here. Okay, they do get a little bit of work done, but... so many Barrowed Banelings everywhere. None of the big detonations, though, that Elazer is hoping for. Elazer's starting to run out of steam. He still has a little bit of steam left over. Some coal in the furnace. Do they even generate? I don't even know anything. I don't know anything, okay? I know nothing. Science. How does it work? Anyways, what I'm trying to get at, though, is that Mr. Elazer here doesn't have a whole lot of longevity anymore in his game plan. Yep, now he's losing the Queens over here as well. He's 50 supply behind against the Terran player while playing Ling Bane. Ling Bane is never really a very cost-efficient unit comp either, unless, I guess, you know, blow up your opponent's army with Banelings. But technically speaking, that shouldn't really be happening, and, yeah, if that's the case... Ooh. You're in a bitty, you're in a pretty, yeah, strange position here. What do you do here if you're Elazer? I guess Elazer is just holding down the circling button. He already gambled once in this match. Found himself in an advantage after it. I guess at this point he's just adding on as many units as he can. Is that the strat? Are we just making as much stuff as possible? If he's trying to collapse on top of this army once again, look at the pre-splitting right here from Spirit. One of the tanks, though, however, not sieged up, but those Marines, man. Okay. Is there enough? No way. No way that there's enough for Elazer. Nah, it's +3 as well. 23 SCVs did end up going down. 23 SCVs did end up going down there. Okay, I was gonna say, eventually, it is gonna be a Spirit victory, but Elazer definitely did not make it easy. Hey, Spirit, I've got a strategy suggestion for you. Could you maybe build a couple of barracks on the other side of the map? Yes! No! Yes? Okay. That's too early for a scouting worker. Are we gonna get a second one? Yes, we are gonna get a second one across the map too. So Spirit is going 3 for 3 against Elazer with the proxy Rex cheese. Do you reckon Elazer is gonna make any changes? Zerg players seem to be kind of stubborn, though. I guess StarCraft 2 players in general are kind of stubborn. It's like, no, hatch first. He actually is once again going hatch first. Alright. This Ophi's not gonna scout anything. Double Rex, it seems, right here. Fair enough. Mr. Overlord, you need to go a little bit further, man. You're not gonna see anything if you're gonna chill in the Natural Expo. Anyways, Elazer doing what he's been, yeah, practicing, right? Hatch, gas, pool. What's funny is that whenever you watch someone like, for example, Cyril, I mean, like, for example, Cyril, there's really only one of them in the world, I guess, but if you watch someone like Cyril play against proxy Barracks cheese, you wonder why anyone would ever do that build order in the first place. Cyril's defense against at least most of the proxy cheese that I've ever seen is so incredibly clean, it puts the Terran player very far behind. And you wonder why they ever execute a build order like it. Anyways, Elazer, completely in the dark, doesn't know what's going on. Hasn't scouted anything. He's probably thinking about the mid-game more so than anything else. So he does spot right now that indeed, once more, there's a little bit of aggression coming up. A bunker building here at the front. Spine crawler coming up. Double queen. We're not going to pull drones out of gas, it seems. Okay. Oh, we're doing the stack. We're stacking them together. Like a Pringles can. The drones apparently squeezed together as tightly as they could. Well, actually, you can squeeze them a little bit tighter than that. Okay, he's picking off the weakened ones, and there we go, the revelation. I don't think Spirit was fooled, though. Either way, this time around, yeah. The Zerglings are going to be able to take the bunker down pretty easily. Spine Crawler, obviously, pretty good as well. And I think that the defense is going to be quite a bit better this time around right here for our Zerg. All right, not ideal. Cyril probably wouldn't have lost any workers. He probably wouldn't have made a spine crawler either. And you're like, what? How does that? Huh? Anyways. Elazer probably swearing in Polish when he saw those units coming into the base. I've been playing quite a bit of GeoGuessr over the last couple of months. Which is basically a game where you're thrown somewhere in Google Street View, somewhere around the world, and you have to guess where it is. And one thing I've noticed about Polish, like, signs, whenever there's, like, any sort of, text, right? It's pretty much always, like, 20-letter words with, like, P's and Z's everywhere, and then, like, 2 vowels. I don't know how to pronounce any sort of... Ooh, that Overlord. I feel like the Ovaries, or the Barracks right here should... Yeah, he should go on over here. Sorry, Elazer. Anyways, I've learned that apparently a lot of the Polish words... Oh. Oh. Spirit looking for it. He doesn't see it anymore. He's like, where'd the over go? Huh? It must be over here then. Alright, Elazer manages to keep it alive. That was kind of cute. Anyways, what I was trying to say. Polish words. How do you pronounce them? I don't get it. I have seen many Polish words in GeoGuessr and I guess on the internet in general that are quite literally 20 vowels, or sorry, 20 letters with like 2 vowels. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyhow. Where do we go now? Elazer probably feeling a little bit better about this game than he does about the previous 2. I hope Elazer wins this one so we can go to game number 4 so we can watch Spirit once again do a proxy Rex. I'm here for it, man. I think if you're committed, right? If you're playing a best of 5 and it goes to a map 4, I think if you've done the same strat 3 times in a row, you have to commit to doing the build order once more. Right? Maybe a variety, but at the very least still the same base idea. Alright, anyways, there's the lair, there's the bailing nest, so now these are timed in such a way that bailing speed, centrifugal hooks can start up right away. We have some safety spore crawlers over here too. These spores are positioned in such a location that they are protecting against, for example, Banshees with cloak. Even though that's not happening here in this game, Elazer doesn't know. Obviously, he was forced to send that Overlord that was hiding on this pillar all the way around, and it seems like it ended up right over here on the left side. I guess, well, checking if there's any medivacs or maybe a Banshee flying past that location. Banshees wouldn't really fly over there. Anyways. Parking it where it could be remotely useful later on. There's the bailing speed right away. Bailing speed is huge because it makes defending against marine pushes significantly easier. So Terran right here is going for the classical opener. We're having Stimpback. We got a couple of upgrades. We'll probably see Spirit going for a move out as soon as Stimpback is done, or at the very least, he has the option to go for one once again. And if your creep spread is good enough, you can obviously make it so that the, you know, the Marines can't really deal any damage to you. I mean, they can still deal damage, but it's significantly easier to defend when you have the creep spread and the bailing speed done. Spire here is a follow-up as well for Elazer, so it looks to me like he wants to go Mutaling Bane. I like Mutaling Bane. I've got like a bit of a love-hate relationship with Mutaling Bane, okay? Personally, I like watching the pros execute it quite a bit. But it's also a unit composition where you put all of your points in damage and 0 points in health. Right? Where if you make one little mistake and you accidentally fly your mutas over a Widow Mine or two, or say like over a Thor or over a group of Marines, and you're not paying attention for like half a second, you could accidentally lose them all. Mutaling Bane is one of those unit comps that's amazing if you have like 400 plus actions per minute. But if you have, you know, if you're human and you struggle hitting 8 buttons a second on the keyboard, it's, yeah, not ideal, usually. Anyways, Elazer playing plenty fast so far. One thing you can obviously do, though, with Mutaling Bane is shut down a lot of that Terran tempo advantage, right? So Terran, in general, really keen to... I like this little push, by the way, from Spirit. Probably he's going to be able to kill that fourth pretty easily. Yep. Cancel? Alright. But yeah, you can shut down the drop play pretty well. Yeah, fourth base coming up on the left side of the map. Not normally the position that we see. Alright, at this point the mutas are spotted as well. Spirit making a push towards this location on the map. I don't know if I like it. Okay, Marines target firing down the mutas. Yeah, mutas take quite a bit of damage here, but I've got a feeling that most of this army won't be able to go home. With the boost available though, the mutas are gonna have a hard time cleaning it all up. But indeed, it was a one-way trip. That's not what those Marines signed up for, but it is what it is. No, drop them over there. Aw. Anyhow, alright. So, map control right now. Flipping from Spirit to Elazer. Spirit had full map control in game number 1, I guess, right? That game didn't really last very long, but he also had full map control in game number 2. Now suddenly Elazer is the one in charge of the pacing of this game. At the very least, he should be. Every once in a while, we still see a Terran player boxing against this sort of thing. Much quicker fourth base as well from Spirit, right? So in the previous game, I think we saw the 4 CC at like the 15-minute mark, if I recall correctly. This time around, Spirit going for it at a far more conventional time. That's a lot of missile turrets, by the way. We're at 8 missile turrets. That's about, yeah, that's as many missile turrets as there are Mutalisks. Missile turrets are great at this stage in the game. They're not so great later on. Once you have enough mutas, they can target fire down those structures pretty easily. Drilling Claws coming up as well for Spirit, so he's making a transition towards the Widow Mines. Mutas over here, boxed in. Not a whole lot of places for them to go. Look at that huge fossil, by the way. That must be absolutely massive. Fossil not messing around. Some primitive Zerg unit, I guess. One thing that Zergs do sacrifice usually when they play mutas is the upgrades. So you can see right here, Zerg, about, I would say, like 80% of the way done or so with the +1/+1, whereas Terran has already started up to 2. Usually Terrans are a little bit quicker on these upgrades even, but... Anyhow. One thing to note is that the Drilling Claws upgrade did get nerfed in the most recent StarCraft 2 balance patch. It doesn't really matter too much in the big battles, but it does definitely affect speedy Widow Mine drops, right? Where you have the Drilling Claws done and you decide to go for a Widow Mine drop instead of your opponent's mineral lines. Those bad boys don't burrow as quickly anymore as they used to. Spirit's still trying to sneak out Medivacs. That's so dangerous. Anyways, as long as the mutas are not there and the overlords don't spot them, I guess they might be able to, yeah, get towards the Zerg bases unharmed, but... Alright, at this point, a couple of overlords over here. We have an infestation pit in the back of the main base of Elazer 2, so I'm expecting him to go towards a hive pretty soon as well. There, in the meantime, on the other side of the map, Spirit is going for the Ghost Academy. Ghost transition! Very nice. Yeah. So this is the way that we've seen a lot of Terran players play on this map recently, right? The Maru style, where... Oh my god. Wait, what? He just killed a... I'm going back, sorry. Oh, there were banelings with that too. I was looking at the army right here on the left. I was gonna say, Mutas alone take forever killing one of those things. That makes a little bit more sense. Anyways, we know that Maru has been very fond of going for this style where you basically turtle up. You try to make as many command centers as you possibly can, and you go for that maxed out ghost army, right? Sometimes he transitions towards a mech-based force too, but now the ghosts are coming up. We have plenty of command centers to replace the ones that you lose. Not really the end of the world. Actually, those kind of traits, I know a lot of Terran players don't really like them, but a lot of those traits cost more in banelings than this command center costs in total. Banelings are very pricey units. So even though, yeah, you see like 20 banelings going down against a planetary fortress, it looks kind of bad, but if you have one that immediately replaces the old command center, it's actually totally fine for Terrans. Terrans are usually more than keen to trade some minerals for some gas. Just like that. I mean, again, not ideal, but it's hard to see, or it's not hard to see why that would be a good thing for Terrans. I haven't seen Spirit play a whole lot of late game lately. I know he's very good at playing the late game. I know he's very keen to like sit back for half an hour and not really move out until much later. Oh, that's what I mean, dude. Oh, actually, you know what? That kind of worked out, I guess. Ish. That still felt like a lot of mutas going down. Yeah, 27 of them have died here in total. But at the very least, he's making the best of the situation. Thor now forced to be brought back home as well to once more push back those mutas. They will heal very quickly out of combat, so I guess Elazer is at the very least going to be able to keep some of them alive. He's now adding on even more. I thought maybe he was opening up some supply to make a late game transition. But then again, what is your late game transition? Because there's ghosts! Right, what do? Do you go Lurkers? Maybe. Do you go Brute Lords? No. Do you go Ultras? Also no. I guess you go more Mutiling Bane. Yeah. If you're gonna go more Mutiling Bane, though, do you want to go double Spire? Probably not. You do probably want to start up +3, though. Maybe a +1 armor? Anyways. Spirit now also realizing that he's not actually going up against any late game army yet, so he's also not going too heavy into the ghosts. Okay. Oh, once again, another planetary fortress snipe over here. 2 command centers are building right next to it, and this might actually start hurting quite a bit more. Yeah, tons of SCVs end up going down. Command center in the main base gone too. Spirit decided to move out across the map. What a rookie mistake. Everyone knows you're supposed to be sitting behind your command centers until you have like 5,000 resources in the bank. Anyways, that's usually what we see Maru do anyways. He decided to get a little bit more adventurous, not just rely on drop play anymore, and he immediately gets punished for it. Elazer killing 1, 2, 3, and then I think a 4th command center in the main base too. Sure, he lost 1 hatchery of his own there, but I think that's yeah, I think that's a decent enough trait. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the passive play style, but if you are gonna play the passive play style, you probably need to play passive, right? I guess Spirit was like, okay, I've done enough passivity, but. Not yet, not yet. Need to build up a bigger bank first. Need to slowly but surely take control of the entire map. Okay. Don't like these traits too much for Elazer, if I'm being honest with you, but he's got money to spare. Right? He's got 5,000 minerals in the bank. He doesn't have a lot of larvae. He really needs to make sure he actually gets enough larvae. Yeah, despite the fact that Spirit is not in the best of positions, he's got a killer economy still. He's got a good unit composition too. He doesn't really have a whole lot of medevacs though. No, literally only a single medevac, so once more, a one-way trip. I wouldn't want to be a Marine or a Ghost, I guess, in the army right here of Spirit, man. Spirit does not care for his troops very much. That medevac pilot did, though. Emphasis on did. Alright. +3/+3. Finishing up here soon for Spirit. I actually think Maru usually doesn't move out until 3/3 is done. And then also the building armor as well as the high-stack auto-tracking. I'm pretty sure he mostly sits back. Maybe like some pushes through like the center of the map towards like this base here from the Zerg. But other than that, he plays extremely passively. Okay. Good movement here, though, by Mystery Elazer. Zergling burrowed on the ground as well. It will be killed, so eventually the command center can land. Alright. Resource loss-wise, actually, it's not even been that bad here for Elazer. I kind of figured it would be worse for him. I guess it's because of all of those command centers that he got. Yeah, like the command center snipes have been huge. They do add up, right? They may not necessarily be that great. Like in like a single situation if you compare flat resources every time, but he's also killed a bunch of the ones that were still building. And those obviously, yeah, didn't cost him nearly that many banelings. Zerg is everywhere, man. Elazer just going around the map, sniping whatever he can. There's another planetary down the drain. So there's one more base over here that Elazer is mining on the right side of the map, and then there's one on the left that is still something he can harvest. The other exposed, though, I mean, I guess this one still has some money in it too, but you can't do this indefinitely, is what I'm getting at. You can't do this the entire time. Alright, I like this. Sniping drones? Okay, maybe I don't like that. But I like, you know, the movement here and going for this base on the right side of the map. Once again, though, Elazer is just being where Spirit is not. He notices Spirit is on the right side of the map, he moves towards the left. He notices that Spirit is on the left side of the map, and he moves towards the right. A lot of the bases are exposed. Once again, a lot of damage here being done. Widow Mines, though, burrowing in very obnoxious positions. Thor's trying to get as much damage in as possible, too. Every Terran player's favorite MOBA unit, gunning down whatever it can. 14 ghosts. Alright. Yeah, Terrans usually have some gas left over, right, at this point in the game. Anyway, Spirit is broke. Spirit actually doesn't have a whole lot of money in the bank anymore. It's not like Elazer is particularly rich here either. I don't think he's rich enough to take a fight off creep anyways. Okay, he thinks he is. That fight over there was really quite nice there for Spirit. Council once again on the hatchery at the last possible time. Base here on the right side of the map obviously got sniped as well earlier. And Elazer actually may have gotten a little bit overly aggressive. Spirit holding on in this game by the skin of his teeth. Well, he's got very strong teeth. He's biting down really aggressively. Base here in the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, this is a very greedy base here. Spirit trying to sneak it out. Not really providing any resources for that base to stay alive either. Okay, the Widow Mines, Oh, no manual retargeting right there by Spirit, but you can't blame him because there's a lot of other things to control over here too. Ghost still soaking up a ton of the health here. Okay, Marines underground as well, and Marines are dealing so much damage here to those mutas. At this point, only 5 mutas are remaining. 81 mutas have been killed compared to 121. 121 of those Marines, sorry. Anyways, we have a couple of burrowed queens over here. Oh, Karen decided to pop out of the ground a little too soon. This fight is an absolute bloodbath. It's been going on for the better part of 3 minutes now. So many units have died on both sides of the map. Alright. Alright, command center. Didn't burn down. Spirit is gonna try and position it over there once more. But there's already a Zergling burrow there. Zerglings. Oh my god. Not getting that much damage in. Those two Marauders in the front soaking a ton of health. And once again, Burrowed Banes. Love the way in which Elazer is using Burrow right now in his games. We don't really see that all too often. Burrow, even after a decade of StarCraft 2, is still one of the most underused upgrades that we have in the game. It's honestly fantastic. Alright. Spirit realizes that he needs a new base. Zerg can probably finally take this expo here now that he's, forcing the Terran here to stay at home. Honestly, Spirit's army here is looking menacing. Elazer still has a lot of money in the bank. He's got 19 larvae. Do you really want to spend it, though, on, like, an additional bunch of Zerglings? Do you really get another 40 lings here? Does that change anything? Probably a decent enough idea. No Banelings, though, to follow this up with anymore. Siege Tank does go down. A lot of Mutas, though, also do get sniped. At the same time, Hatchery right here on the right side of the map also gets killed. And then the command center here is forced to lift off. Orbital Commando slowly burning down. And all the while, Spirit has a new expo in the bottom right-hand corner that he's mining from. He's gonna go above 3,000 minerals a minute here very soon. Yeah, once those mules start returning the money. And slowly but surely, we might be looking at a 3-0 right here for Spirit. Despite the fact that he was very far behind in this game, he's clawing himself back into it over the course of the last 10 or so minutes. That being said, Elazer still looking strong. He's now running in Zerglings right here on the right side of the map. Terran units already running on over in this location too, but obviously every time Terran's moving on over in this spot, it means that the base on the left side can actually finish up, which is huge. Neither player really has a whole lot of money. There's a missile turret over here providing detection, but yeah, it's not in range right there for the Terran player to see those burrowed links. Terran once again moving up north. Unburrowing these Zerglings could easily make short work of a lot of these units, although 4 Marines were left behind inside of a bunker, it seems. Terran's gotta be so careful, though. You don't know where the Burrowed Banes are. I mean, we can see a couple of them sprinkled around the map. But it's very easy to accidentally walk into one of those. It's safe to assume they're on the creep, but... Ay, careful, 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 Mr. Spirit. It's already been a bloodbath. He's creating chaos right now. Ooh, he was creating chaos in the bottom right-hand corner by unburrowing those lings. Okay, still killing 8 SCVs over there. Thought for a second those 2 Banes would blow up the entire army there for the Terran player. Spy Crawlers helping out quite a bit as well, though. Poking away at the Marauders that are providing the tanking, I guess, for those Marines. Mutas, okay. Found a location where there's no missile turrets anymore, and another whole load of space construction vehicles do end up going down. Queens transfusing whatever they can, keeping those Pokey Boys alive for a little while longer. Putting a timer right now on Spirit. Those Widow Mines, though, looking so nice. Actually, careful, Mr. Spirit. Probably did not expect Elazer to be a complete madman and walk up towards that high ground. Elazer may have not even been paying attention to that exact spot on the map either, but he does break through the defense over there. Widow Mines, though, blow up a huge chunk of the Zerg army, but also some of the Terran units. Now the Ghosts are starting to be surrounded as well. Medevac right there gets gunned down by its own Widow Mine. GG is called, and Elazer does obtain a map. Hey, Spirit? Spirit. I know it didn't really work out very well in the previous game, right? But, how about proxy barracks? No. No. It's not happening. Spirit is no longer playing around. He wanted to go for the clean 3-0 against Elazer. Now he has to play a 4th map? Disgusting. Do you think Elazer is going to make any changes? He's played against the Proxy Rex 3 games in a row. Nah. Nah. Hatch gas pool every day. 16 hatch. 18 gas. 17 supply spawning pool. So this drone goes to the gas. And then the next drone goes towards the spawning pool. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? It's like a hand. There goes one of the fingers, moving towards the mineral field. The one that didn't have full saturation yet, with 2 drones mining back and forth. And then, oh, the Roomba. Roomba. Bit of a jerk move, dude. Ruining the perfect start. Anyways. Yeah, now the next 3 drones go into the gas geyser. So basically, you rally the next 3 drones into the gas. And then you go from there. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, Spirit going for a very conventional start-ish, kind of. Normally, you don't go for a straight reactor. Normally, you go for a Reaper first. So I like how Spirit is cheesing his opponent 3 games in a row. And he's like, you know what? Scoutless straight reactor. It's like you punch someone in the face a couple times and you don't expect them to punch back at all. He's like, no, this is fine. Let me not scout. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna punch back. Anyways. Elazer just powering up. He's going for one big punch. Not a small punch. Not a little punch. Just, you know, a big punch, I guess, with a load of units. But in order to go for a load of units, you do need a 3rd base pretty quick. So that's exactly what he does. I mean, he's just sending a drone over for now. So he's sending a drone over for the time being just because he needs to make sure that he can get it up. Even if there's a Reaper going back and forth between the bases. Started up link speed first, and now eventually the 3rd hatch also begins. Elazer, though, not really scouting very far with the Overlords once again. So this over here in the middle of the map. Yeah, not really providing a whole lot. So 2 links have been tasked with figuring out what in the world's going on in this game. You really expect there to be at least a little bit of Terran movement out on the map. SCV here does see the Zergling. The Zergling right now also sees the SCV. 1 link, though, finally will figure out exactly what's happening. Command center on the low ground. Couple Marines right there chilling on the ramp. If you see 2 of them, I think that's already a good enough indication that it was a reactor first. Although normally a reactor first right now seems to be followed up with a bunch of Marines and triple barracks. Apparently, though, Spirit decides to switch around and go for an armory together with Hellion production. Okay, so in order to morph the Hellions into Hellbats, you need to have an armory. So Spirit playing against the meta right now, which I quite like. There's also a bunker coming up here at the back of the 3rd. You know what? This is not something that Elazer has actually seen. Alright. Let's go. I like this little move out. You don't expect a delayed bunker rush. I don't think it's really going to deal that much damage, but it's still going to be a little bit of a oh shit moment, right? Especially if you can actually keep the Hellbats around. Yeah. Hellbats are really quite useful there. SCV, though, not sniped before it finished the bunker building, and well, now it's chilling in the back. Cool guys don't look at explosions, but apparently they are needed for the repair. Alright, so, Queens and Zerglings. There's a misrally right here from Spirit. A little bit sloppy. Don't want to lose those units for free. They're very expensive. I mean, expensive at this point in the game. Good zoning right here, though, by the Queens. The Zerglings do get the wraparound on the bunker, and it is going to be killed pretty smoothly. Elazer is actually already adding on drones there again, which is really quite impressive. He was already droning before he cleaned that up. Apparently, like, yeah, no worries. Got exactly what I need. At this point in the game, though, you don't really know what the follow-up is going to be, right? So Spirit, okay, it looks to me like he wants to go for Banshees, I guess? Maybe a Raven? No, it is going to be Banshees with Cloak, but this is very late Banshees. Normally, the first Banshee with Cloak, or the first Banshee, shows up at about 5 minutes on the side of the Zerg. So now we're coming up on the 5-minute mark, and the Banshees just started. And even though it looked like a good start right there for... Yeah, I don't really like this ult too much, to be honest. No. There's a standard for a reason, and Elazer is showing us why that is the case. Easy defense right there for him. Making what looked like a pretty scary attack look pretty simple. And now suddenly he's finding himself with a very nice lead. So, he's going into the lair. He's going into the bailing nest. Adding on the additional gases. He'll be trying to go for the bailing speed once again. He has seen a lot of Hellions, though, so you always wonder whether or not it's going to be a mech transition at this point in the game. Could Terrans really be going for mech from here? Hellions? Ooh, they were thinking about it. They were thinking about sneaking into the Natural Expo to roast all of those drones. Especially if you can morph them into Hellbats, obviously, that's pretty good. Elazer, though, with the heavy focus on Queens. Yeah, staying alive just fine. Alright, so now he finishes up full 3-base saturation. He can start up droning here for the 4th as well. He could probably go straight up to like 80. Especially since Terran is likely going to chill here for a little while, yeah. They're going to go into a 4th command center pretty quick. Once again, Aspire. So apparently Elazer pretty happy with the Mutilating Bane play in the previous game. We're once again going for it in this one. Six minutes and 45 seconds on the Banshees. Yeah, he's going in deep right now, too. He's like, I need to get something done. You probably want to get, like, 6 drones minimum here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know exactly if you want to have 6 minimum, but, like, in general, that's... seems like a good number. Hellions? Okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Hellions on the right side. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's better if you don't lose the units in the process too, right? So, I don't actually think that was necessarily a net value trade right there for the Terran. Because once again, as soon as you let go of that pressure, as soon as Zerg has a little bit of wiggle room, they'll be holding down the drone button. That's exactly what Elazer does. And soon he's going to grab that map control as well. He's going to have 10 mutas, 11 mutas all at once. Assuming he has the larva for it. I don't think he does. Alright, Terran, what are we doing? Fourth command center being secured. He's heading on over towards the 2nd factory here as well somewhere. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. +2/+2 coming up. So he will definitely be able to make a counter against the Muta play. I don't think he's seen any Mutas yet, though, at this stage. So he hasn't seen the Spire. Okay, well. Just as I say it, he's thinking the same thing. For the longest time, Zerg players, at least in the previous patch, a lot of Zerg players, they would go straight towards Hive, right? Hive with lurkers, with ranged, and the speed burrow and all that. I guess ghosts are probably countering that a little bit too good right now, so a lot of Zergs are like, okay, I'm not gonna bother. But yeah, in previous games, about a month or two ago, we would see straight up into a Hive with Hydras and then lurkers eventually. Now, apparently, Elazer, not really too keen to make any Hydras or any lurkers, just goes Mutilating Bane, just like we used to back in the day. The Wings of Liberty style, the Heart of the Swarm style, apparently the Legacy of the Void style as well. I guess Mutaling is also very popular in StarCraft 1, so I guess we've been playing this since the 90s. No Banelings though, I guess, huh? Alright. Spirit, lovely little wall over here. Sensor towers also allowing him to get a full vision of where the Zerg player would be attacking from. Interesting. So this is the 2nd time we now see Elazer doing this with Mutilating Bane play. He's going for like a round of spines in the most likely location where the Terran player will attack. It's kind of interesting. Normally we don't see it. Normally we don't see Zerg players in general focus that much on static defense other than like mass Spore Crawler, I guess, in like the Zerg versus Protoss meta. But I kind of like it. Makes it hard for the Terrans to actually push in here. Like when you think about it, right? Where's Terran likely going to be pushing from? Likely from their 4th base, right? This is the slowest or the shortest route rather that they can take towards the Zerg side of the map. Good defense right there by Spirit. Yes, very nicely done right here by Spirit. Tons of Banelings going down for essentially free. Needs to be careful he doesn't move onto the creep. Obviously, Zerg gets a nice little speed boost whenever you do, but yeah, not bad. Base coming up in the top right-hand corner. No Hive. Elazer apparently not really yeah, has he gone Hive a single time yet in this series? Probably? I actually wasn't paying attention. Maybe I was, I just don't remember. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he's been sticking around on Lair Tech for an extremely long time. Which is kind of interesting because the best Zerg upgrades are all at Hive Tech. Things like Adrenal Glands, +3/+3, all of it makes such a huge difference. Especially Adrenal Glands. I wonder if just going Hive for Adrenal is worth it. It's 40% additional attack speed on Zerglings, give or take. It's very big. Anyways. No, I have seen an infestation pit before in the series, so maybe he did, I don't know. Anyhow. Point being is he decides to stick around on mid-game tech for a while, whereas Terran is already going Liberator, Ghost, Thor. Those are all tier 3 units right here from the Terran player, so you'd imagine it's pretty good here for the Terran, but Elazer has no plans to fight his opponent's army head-on, it seems, unless it wants to walk onto the creep. I'll only fight you, he says, when you actually decide to move into my home. So far, I'm not exactly sure if that's the smartest move that Spirit can make. Excellent game so far in the series, actually. Really sick. Really good stuff. Anyways, there's the Hive. +2/+2/+2. Mutas. Terran starting up +3/+3. And of course that Ghost army. Playing it more passively this time around. 9 Ghosts here in total. Yeah. If Spirit knows that his opponent is fighting here the entire time, you wonder if he needs to defend this area a little bit better too. It was gonna happen at some point regardless, right? So I love the Ghosts in the main base, by the way. Really good splitting. Now suddenly Lings and Banes, though, roll into the natural. Terran does have a huge army, but it's all the way in the top right. Okay, so rather than actually bringing it back home to try and defend the natural, he decides to push forward. If he wanted to push forward, he could have done this about a minute ago. But anyways, big push right here. Couple of Banelings, trying to get Adventurers, not getting a lot of damage done, but buying a bunch of time. Eventually the Lings and the Mutas and the Banes and stuff do get pushed back. Another big Widowmine right there for Spirit. Thor's in the front, trying to soak as much of that Baneling damage as possible too, but yeah, Elazer has got a lot of fast-moving units here, so he's already back home in time as well to defend. Oh, the Banelings, the Banelings! Uncharacteristic mistake right there by Spirit, not something that we see too often at the professional level. Ghost right now also split off from the main pack. Elazer says, don't mind if I do, as he snipes a bunch of those very expensive Terran units when they're split off from the main force. Okay. Well, good steady targeting right there by Spirit as well, though. Okay, once more. Zerg just swarming all over this Terran army as soon as it moves onto the creep. Careful though, those Mutas taking a lot of damage. Not a whole lot of Marines remaining anymore though, and I guess, yeah, that means that the Marines and the Marauders are gonna have to run. Lings and Banes though on their heels. Both players investing into late game upgrades at this point. Adrenal Glands, +3/+3 here for Spirit is soon gonna finish up quite a bit before the opponents. So if Spirit wants to go for another push, I think, well, right about right now is the time. The problem is he just traded out a huge chunk of his units. Once more, he doesn't really have a whole lot of Medivacs either. Widow Mines, or I guess Baneling Mines there, do soak up some of those Marines and Marauders once more. And because of that, Zerg is buying time. Zerg is buying time for his own maxed out upgrades to finish up. Elazer already has the base in the bottom left-hand corner. This is so far out of reach for Spirit. He can send a Medivac over there, and that's what he's doing right now. So a Widowmine drop is heading on over in that direction, but Elazer saw the scan. He's like, okay, what are you doing? Don't mind if he makes a little bit of a stop over here at the orbital command once again, though. Tons of SCVs, vulnerable. This time around, bio units are running over here, but I mean, Elazer is almost playing with his food right now, right? Absolutely in firm control of this game so far. Medivac drop spotted as well. Yeah, no, they don't burrow as quickly anymore as they used to, dude. Okay, that was still kind of painful. Banelings, top right hand corner. Spirit not gonna give his opponent the satisfaction as he leaves the game, evening up the score. Okay, so here we go. The rubber match. Berlingrad, our final map for today. Elazer was previously 2-0 behind, but he's come back. Momentum is a very real thing in a game of StarCraft 2. And while Spirit was probably feeling unbeatable just 2 maps ago, right now Elazer is... he's holding him. Yeah, he's doing a great job. Just deflecting whatever Spirit is throwing at him. And especially the second half of that previous game, it was all Elazer. Let's see. You can almost see when Spirit was not feeling it anymore, right? As soon as he stopped proxy rexing, I guess. Anyways, I don't want to get into it too much, obviously, because, well, once again, we're starting off on a fresh map. Both players start with 12 workers, and that's about it. Elazer going for the good old hatchery. Into the good old gas geyser. Into the good old spawning pool. Spirit going for the command center first. A little bit greedy, but at this point in the game it makes sense. If Elazer is not gonna open up pool first in any situation, I don't think he's gonna do it in the 5th one either, right? In the 5th game of the series. He's been doing the same build every single game so far. Especially after you get cheesed a couple times in a row, at that point you just become predictable. So I like the fact that Spirit is exploiting that weakness by going for a command center first. And then eventually into a barracks. Gas will be gathered here as well for Spirit. Is he gonna go straight into a reactor as well? That would be kind of interesting. That would be very greedy. Because if it's any kind of pool first build, you do fall behind. But, nah, it is gonna be a Marine. Okay. Fair enough. Orbital number 1 coming right up. Second orbital command will start up as soon as the command center finishes. And everything is A-okay. Yeah, double Marine here. So the reason why you want to go for a couple Marines is just in case it would have been, you know, some aggression here from the Zerg player. You could suddenly be fighting against like 10 Lings and it can become a bit of a disaster if you have no attacking units. Believe it or not. I know, this may be a stretch, but it's not great. Anyways, 3rd CC coming up. So Spirit is setting himself up for full macro. Elazer, hatch gas pool. I would like to see him go for like a roach push or something along those lines, just to mix it up. But he doesn't really strike me as a guy who likes to mix it up all too often. I remember Elazer telling me at Stay at Home Story Cup a couple of, well, when was this? Like a half year ago, actually, at this point. Anyways, he mentioned that he does most of his practice these days playing against the very easy AI. So basically what he does is he just loads up a game against the easiest AI in the game, and he just practices macro. He just macros, and then eventually, I guess he, comes up with his favorite build order and his most pristine opening. Obviously, you always gotta take it with a grain of salt, right? Because these guys, they do play a lot of tournaments as well, and a lot of, you know, competitive matches here and there, but he's definitely a grinder, is what I'm getting at. So, because of that, usually the people that grind a lot of games, they will play the same strat over and over and over and over and over again. Not really a gambler, right? Not really a gambler. Trying to play the macro game. Trying to make the mathematical best choices. Anyways, Spirit going for the most conventional build we've seen him play so far today. Just a good old triple CC 1-1-1. We've got ourselves the double tech lab here, so we're going to do Stimpack in this one, Cloaking Field in the other one. And then we're just going to go good old Banshee Hellion for the time being. Okay, so Elazer is mixing it up. He's not really scouted much of anything, but he decides to go for a Roach Warren right now, rather than a Baneling Nest. Interesting. Maybe he just felt like playing it, which is fair enough, or maybe he has played against Spirit plenty recently, where Spirit has been playing a bunch of mech or something along those lines. Maybe he's found some sort of weakness against his opener that he thinks he can exploit, but he's making a ton of links right now. Like, we really have a ton of links. Do we just go into a push? He's got triple gas, still no lair. I actually do think we're going into a push. Yeah, he's preparing overlords. This is a very late roach push, though. Normally when you go for a roach push, it seems like you plant down the warren at like 3:30. Maybe that's the old school version of the build. Zergling patrolling over here as well, scouting out roughly what's happening. He's gonna see the command center, I think. Nope. Barely not. Spirit is going up against a Zerg here who's got a ton of stuff. The Banshees, though, are phenomenal against this sort of thing. Where are the Banshees? Okay, so the Banshees are just saved up at home. I mean, the Banshees do eventually kill Roach Ravager Ling pushes, right? So Lair right now, okay. Or like they're off, scouted. Spirit knows that he's not going up against someone who's going for a Lair. The Banshees are going to be really nice. 4 additional barracks are coming up. The Banshees can kill stuff eventually, but I think the real kicker here is the fact that... yeah, Zerg just has a lot of units to shut all of this down. He's now going back home, though. Okay, so he probably... okay, I think what just happened is that he didn't expect his opponent to have Banshees anymore. Because if it was going to be Banshees, the first Banshee usually shows up by itself. Usually you don't save until you have 2 Banshees out. In this particular case, Spirit saved up 2 Banshees, saw that his opponent didn't have a lair, decided to keep them home. Elazer came across the map, saw the Banshees. He's like, well, I guess I can't really do much. And then he started up a lair and droned up behind it. It's a bit of a strange sequence of events because at this point Zerg will have a ton of units out. Yeah, we're talking 2 Ravagers and 8 Roaches here. That's more than you normally want at this point in the game. But I guess Elazer just, for the better part of this fight, gave up on it. Decided to make the executive call to not go for that push. A little bit of min-maxing here from the both of them. This puts Spirit in a bit of an awkward spot as well, though. Because you never really know exactly how much Zerg there actually is out there. Yeah, I like going for the Ravagers. Normally, Zergs will also fight until their armies are dead, right? So meaning that, like, if you go for an early game push, like the one that Elazer was setting up for, you usually fight until all of those units die, right? Maybe you retreat with a bunch of them, but, like, normally you don't have a bunch of this army just sitting on idle. So it's hard to say exactly for Spirit how much of a Zerg force is actually out there and whether or not you can go for a push. It's hard for him to know. Can I go for a killer move right here on the 4th base? Can I go for a timing attack with Marines and stuff on that 4th base? Or is Elazer still just adding on a whole bunch of stuff behind it, and is he just gonna overwhelm me with a move out? It puts Terran into a bit of a strange spot. So even though I don't necessarily like this position here for Elazer right now... oh, don't lose him. He gets it. Gets it. Yeah, nice. It's also not the end of the world. What? Why did we stop driving? Lunch break, I guess, for the Hellion drivers. Okay, now... he was out, man! He was like, yep, we're off creep, Sarge. It's all good. We'll eat our lunch right over here. As he grabbed his sandwiches. Yeah, not ideal, man. It's a Zergling, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. Well, no Hydras in this cinematic, but at the very least, a good amount of damage done here by Elazer once more. Elazer is apparently a huge fan of the mutas, by the way. Once again, adding on, well, 13 of them all at once. I thought it was 13. Yeah, okay, I was gonna say. 1 muta first. This is the commanding officer of the Mutalisk army. And soon, his lackeys will be joining as well. Anyhow, Spirit's still with the supply lead, though. Don't get me wrong, he's in a really wonderful position here. Yep, now he sees the mutas. And that means that map control goes back in favor of Zerg. Very hard for Terran to actually move out in these sorts of instances. And I think it's once again going to trigger Spirit to maybe play more defensively. He's already got the 4th CC done. Didn't start up the +2 armor, by the way. That is quite big. Zerg only just now starting up 1-1, but that is expected. Couple mutas. Misplay here. Okay, only one of them ends up going down. Yeah, they were all in the same control group, and since part of the mutas were over here, the others tried flying over that army. Banshee's up north. Looks like they will be able to deny another base. Mutas once again, though, sniping whatever they can. Lots of reinforcements end up going down. Here's the real fight, though. Siege tank spread out brilliantly. Mutas will probably try and see if they can get some damage in over there. I think maybe another... Was that another burrow move? No, we don't have burrow done yet. Okay, the hatchery instead is just given up on. And Spirit is just losing whatever unit he's got coming out of the bases right now. Another siege tank running dangerously low. He does get it. But apparently Spirit's army right now... Hold up. Apparently Spirit's army right now, yeah, is just a little bit too strong. So I backed up in the game. I guess as soon as he saw that his opponent had a 4th command center done, and as soon as Spirit just managed to kill, well, the 4th base of the Zerg once again, Elazer realized I'm not going to be able to obtain the victory here. Even though it does feel like a bit of an early GG, he's certainly not in a good spot. Yeah, losing that base once more, right? So he's already lost 3 hatcheries at this point. There's really no way for him to continue staying in this game against someone of the caliber of Spirit, although... There was a chance for him to stick around for a little bit longer, but I guess he's lost 7 mutas at this point in the game too. Maybe a bit of an early GG, all things considered, but that does mean that eventually Spirit is the one who obtains the victory in this best of 5 series.